Dear Sadhguru, it is well known that desire is the cause of all sorrows and tension. But being a wife and a mother, being a wife and a mother, I can't get rid of these desires. I seek your valuable advice in this regard. Thank you.
Now, it's not because you're a wife, an internal mother, that your desires have come. If you were nobody's wife, probably you were desiring, when you were nobody's wife, you were desiring to be somebody's wife. Now that you're somebody's wife, you desire to have a child and become a mother. Now that you have a child, now you are saying, it is these two entities which is making me desire. It is not true. If you were nobody's nothing, even then your desire would still burn within you. Is that so? Yes or no? If you're nothing to nobody in the world, still your desire would burn, isn't it? So please don't think your desires are because of your child or your husband or your family or whatever. Anyway you will desire, because that's your nature. Now, you made a statement in the question that desire is the source of all misery. Desire is not the source of all misery. Unfulfilled desire is the source of all misery. Isn't it? Isn't it so? Desires fulfilled are the source of your joy. Unfulfilled desires is the source of your misery. Now, what to do with the desire? Shall we kill the desire? I know people have been teaching you such things. You must kill all your desires. Unless you destroy your desires, your misery will not go. These teachings have come to you, isn't it? Now, if you want to destroy all your desires, all you will have is, you will have a great desire to destroy all your desires. And you will remain eternally unfulfilled. I don't want any desires. Is this a desire? Is this a desire or no? Yes. So, if you try to play tricks with this, it's not going to work. Because desire is not desiring for anything in particular. The energy which you call as desire is not different from the energy that you call as life. If you want to move from point A to point B, you need a desire, isn't it? Now, what brought you here today? It is not your bus or car or something else, it is your desire which has brought you here today, isn't it? What is it that will take you home? It is your desire which will take you home. What is it that which will make you eat? It is your desire which will make you eat. So, what you call as desire is not any different from what you call as life. The life is desire. The very basis of your life is desire, isn't it? So if I tell you kill the desire, the only way is to hang yourself. There is really no other way. Now I want to die, that is also a desire, isn't it? Yes or no? So do not deceive yourself with these things. Desire is the very essence of your life. But at the same time, you also know that desire is an unending thing. If you fulfill one, the next one will be ready. If you fulfill that, the next one will be ready. It keeps you on all the time. And obviously, some desires will be unfulfilled, and those unfulfilled desires cause much misery to you. If you look at the desire, actually when we started, this is what we were looking at. We just did not use the word desire. There is something within you longing to be little more than what you are right now, isn't it? That is desire. So your desire's ultimate goal is unboundedness, the infinite nature. But because you're unaware, you are giving it an unconscious expression for the longing that is wanting to become unbounded. So you don't have to destroy your desire because you cannot. Can anybody destroy their desire? Is it possible? There is no way, because that's life. It is just that you have to make your desire into your conscious process. Right now it is functioning unconsciously, because right now your desires are not even about you. Please look at this. Right now you're living in Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. Your neighbor has a big car. What is your desire? You want to have 2 cars like that. Now you don't know all these cars, you are living in a remote place and your neighbor has 1 big buffalo. What is your desire? You want to have 2 buffaloes like that. So your desire is just a reaction to the social situations in which you're living, isn't it? This is so because this longing to expand is finding unconscious expression. If you make your process of desiring into your conscious process, then desire is no more a problem. Desire is a wonderful vehicle which will take you places. Even if you want to reach the ultimate, you need a desire, isn't it? Yes or no? Anyway, the desire in you is longing for unboundedness, it is longing for unlimitedness, it is longing for the ultimate nature. You just have to bring awareness to it. If you bring awareness to your desiring process, it is a wonderful instrument. If it is finding unconscious expression, then it makes you run like madman. All the time it keeps you running endlessly. So, being a wife, being a mother, it's extremely important. Now that you're a mother, not a small responsibility. You brought another human being into this planet. Now, what kind of human being you produce is a very huge responsibility, isn't it? It is not just about reproduction. What kind of next generation you create is in your hands as a mother, isn't it? Yes? What kind of people are going to live on this planet in the next generation is decided by the mothers of today, isn't it? When such a responsibility you have, you cannot afford to live unconsciously. You must become conscious. Especially the woman must become conscious, it's very, very important.
How have we been assigned to this particular part of the planet in terms of people, in terms of parents, in terms of people? This is in terms of existence in this planet. And the other question is, which again triggers my belief in God, is who's the person who controls our life before we are born and after our death?
So you believe lots of things. So you believe before you were born you were somewhere, after you're dead you're going to be somewhere else, everything you believe. Too many assumptions. When you have so many assumptions, no way to approach truth, isn't it so? If you want to approach truth, the first thing is, you don't assume anything. Is it so? If you're interested in truth, if you're searching for truth, that means you have not assumed anything, is it so? If you already made your assumption, you're just trying to find a confirmation for your assumption, that is not seeking truth. A true seeker of truth has no assumptions, he's just looking. Shall we just look or shall we try to confirm your assumptions? You want confirmation You're right. Does that get you any closer? If I tell you your beliefs are right, does it get you any closer to truth? Does it? You feel better. Oh, okay, I've been right. But nothing gets solved, isn't it? Life doesn't get solved, does it? No. So confirming your belief systems doesn't mean anything. This is a big problem with human beings. They want to be right all the time. It's the biggest problem. In fact, it is the basis of all conflict in the world. I am right, you are wrong. This is the problem, isn't it? Isn't it so? What I believe is right, what you believe is wrong. Isn't this the basis of all problems in the world? Whether it's within the family or in the community or in the world or wherever? Yes? Shall we eliminate that problem a little bit? The first thing you need to do is, after all, they are your beliefs. And your beliefs are not original, picked up, isn't it? Your priest or mullah or father or mother, somebody put it into you, isn't it so? Picked up from somebody. It depends how powerfully they worked on you. And they work pretty powerfully because the business is at stake otherwise. So, what you assume may have nothing to do with reality. Now, you're trying to understand something which is beyond the physical, with physical context, it won't happen. You're trying to perceive something which is beyond physical through sense perception, such a thing cannot happen. Now you want to measure the depth of the ocean, but you went with a foot scale. You will obviously come with wrong conclusions, isn't it so? If you want to measure the depth of the ocean, your first business is to get the right kind of instrument. Yes? Yes or no? That's your first business, that's all I'm saying. You want to know something beyond the physical. First thing that you need to do is to have a perception which is beyond five senses, which can perceive that which is not physical. Only then you perceive. Otherwise you can only believe or disbelieve, isn't it? If I tell you, God is actually in my pocket, this many people can believe me? This is a ridiculous thing, oh, we don't believe that, but I can tell you a more elaborate story if you want, which we can work on and make you believe in, isn't it? Right now, God is in my pocket. This many people believe me, this many people disbelieve me. Have these people gotten any closer to God than they were before? Have they? Or have these people gone any further away? No, nothing changes, isn't it? So why are we wasting our time trying to confirm our assumptions? You must enhance your perception, because only by perceiving you will know. There is no other way to know. Is it so? You will know anything only when you perceive it. Till then you do not know it. Is that a reality? Is that a reality? People who are not on talking terms with me, is that a reality? If you perceive, you know. If you do not perceive, you do not know. You are unwilling to admit, I do not know, so you believe, isn't it? If you are just trying to pass the social test, belief is a good way to do it. But you want to really know, then belief is not a good way to do it. Belief gives you confidence. And fools getting confidence is dangerous. Do you understand? When idiots become very confident, it's very, very dangerous, isn't it so? Do you see? Intelligent are hesitant, stupid are confident. Have you seen this? Great confidence. Because when you simply believe something, you will have great confidence. You will have no doubt about anything because you don't apply yourself to anything. You're 100% sure. You see George Bush, how confident he is? He's very confident, isn't it? Doesn't he seem like confident? Very confident. He came to India and declared, I am a believer, I am a true believer. I thought, you don't have to say it, can't we see? You must be a believer, otherwise you don't walk blind into situations. If you're somebody with sense, you would look around, isn't it? You would see what is there and what is not there, because you're a believer. Not just in God, in so many other things. The most sensible way to start your life is, what I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. Once you come to this sincerely, you will see your knowing will constantly go on expanding on a daily basis. Otherwise, the moment you believe, you are stagnant. Belief is death actually. Marx said, is the opium Religion is opium because it puts people to sleep. He's very right. It's put people to sleep, isn't it? Hasn't it? Sleep is comfortable. What's wrong with it? Why sleep? Why don't you die? It is even more comfortable. Do you know that? Because anyway you're a believer, after all your God is waiting, why don't you go? Yes, isn't it? Because anyway you know when you die you'll go to God. What is the problem? Why are you waiting, going to this hospital, all this nonsense? Why don't you go? Why are you delaying your progress towards God? That's not right. You're not a true believer, isn't it?
On a certain day, don't sleep on me, okay? A man was going about selling hats in the tropical heat of India. Village to village, selling hats. In the afternoon, he was very tired, came and sat under a tree, opened his packed lunch, ate it, dozed off. After some time, he opened his eyes. To his dismay, all the hats were gone. He looked around, where are the hats, where are the hats? He couldn't find them anywhere. Just by chance he looked up, there he saw a whole bunch of monkeys sitting there, hats on. He screamed at them, they screamed back at him. He yelled, they yelled. He abused, they abused. He tried to pick up whatever he could and throw it at them. They picked up whatever they could and threw it back at him. Out of sheer frustration, not knowing what to do, he took his hat and flung it on the ground, not knowing what to do, helplessly. All the monkeys took their hats and flung it on the ground. He picked up these hats and went about selling hats. That was in early 20th century. This is 2009, November. Another hat seller going about selling hats in the summer season, and in the afternoon he came and sat under a tree. He opened his packed lunch, ate, promptly fell asleep. When he woke up, the hats were gone. He didn't look around, he looked straight up. All the monkeys were sitting with hats on. He got up and jived. They all jived with him. He made faces, funny faces at them. They made funnier faces at him. He had all the fun he wanted to have with them. And then he took his hat and flung it on the ground. A baboon of a monkey came down, picked up the hat, walked towards him, gave him a tight slap in the face and said, "You fool, you think only you had a grandfather?" There is scientific evidence that monkeys are evolving. About human beings, there is no such thing. Because what is human cannot evolve unconsciously. When you were a monkey, I'm sorry, I did not say this, Charles Darwin, not me, okay? I am not calling you a monkey. Charles Darwin said, all of you were monkeys, your tail fell away and you became human. When you were a monkey, you did not desire, I want to be human. Nature just pushed you on. But once you become human, now either you evolve consciously or you stagnate, that's all the choice you have. From here, you cannot evolve unconsciously because now, what you call as human is not an established state, please see this. Every other creature has established states of what they are. What is human is not established. This moment you can be godlike, next moment you can be brute-like, isn't it? Isn't it so? What is human is a flux. You can be anything you want, and this is the human being's struggle. Right now, human beings are not suffering their bondage, they are suffering their freedom. You could choose to be anything you want right now, this moment. You could choose to be whichever way you wish to be right now within yourself. This is the struggle, isn't it? If your life also is fixed as the animal life is fixed, this is how you will be, you wouldn't be struggling so much. You wouldn't be experiencing as much pain and misery that human beings are experiencing right now, isn't it? See, for example, a tiger is born. A tiger is not sitting and wondering, how will I become a good tiger? How to become a good tiger? Should I go to the tiger college? Just eat enough food. If you eat well, he becomes a good tiger, isn't it? You are not like that. You were born as a human being. To become a good one, how many things you have to do. Whatever you do, till the end you don't know whether you made it or not. Yes or no? Socially, in a particular society, you can look at people and say, okay, compared to this person, I am better. But by yourself, you do not know whether you are this way or that way, isn't it? Because what is human is not an established state. Every other creature, it's a fixed state. They eat well, they'll become that. If you eat well, at the most your body will grow, nothing else will happen. Isn't it so? Everything else have to be strived for because nature has left you free to become whatever you want to become. And right now, humanity is suffering its freedom, not its bondage. If you're suffering your bondage, it's bad enough, but it's okay. Because if you suffer your bondage, you will want to become free. If you suffer your freedom, it's a tragedy, isn't it? Isn't it so? Once you start suffering your freedom, it's tragic, because what is the way out of freedom? There's a way out of bondage. Where is the way out of freedom? I can bind myself. Please see in how many ways you're trying to bind yourself. You're trying to find a way out of freedom. There is no way out of freedom. There is a way out of bondage, but there is no way out of freedom, isn't it? Freedom is a benediction if you're aware. Freedom is a curse if you're unaware. So right now, don't curse your freedom, you just have to become more aware. Starting with this, how this works. If you become aware, then this freedom is such a fantastic thing. Such a beautiful thing it is. Because you could be whichever way you want. You could be whatever you want right now within yourself. No animal, no creature has this freedom except the human creature, isn't it? Isn't it so? Shall we exploit this or no? If you do not choose, if you remain a compulsive creature, you cannot call yourself a full-fledged human being. That's why I said it's an evolutionary problem. Only when you're able to do everything by choice, you can say, I'm human. Because a human being essentially means he is what he is by choice. If he becomes compulsive, he's like any other creature, biological, that's all. Nothing more will happen.
Once happened, Gautama, the Buddha, you heard of him? Everybody heard of Gautama? So, Buddha is not his name is Gautama Siddhartha. He became a Buddha. So he is not the only Buddha in the world. There have been thousands of them and there still are. So Gautama was sitting in a large congregation of people one morning, an early morning, earlier than this, okay? A man arrived and stood there in the shadows. This man is a great devotee. He is a devotee of Rama. You heard of Rama? Not Rami, Rama. Rama is one of the most popular deities in India. If you do not already know this, in India we have 36 million gods and goddesses. It's a very rich country. So, He is a great devotee of Rama. The devotees in India, not now and not everybody, but those who take this seriously, they will not utter any other word than the name of God that they believe in. So if they want you to come, they'll say Ram Ram. If they want you to go, Ram Ram. If they want something, Ram Ram. No other word but Ram. Their clothes are all printed Ram Ram, they utter only Ram Ram, they live Ram Ram. They devoted their whole life to God. You are smart, you are not like that. You kept God like insurance. Just in case something goes wrong, I have also paid my premium. Everything that you need to do, you do it yourself. You kept God like insurance. You're smart. But this man invested his whole life in God, total. Age is passing away, little doubt has come. Are there people here who don't believe in God? Nobody? No leftists? No? Only one? Okay. What's your name? John. Only John? Nobody else? So, little doubt has come. He knows there is God. Just a little doubt. Suppose there is no God. I'm wasting my whole life doing Ram, Ram, Ram. See, this doubt will come to you only if you invest your whole life. You invest just 10 minutes in a week, then you will not get this doubt, it's all right, what's the problem? You know? If you invest your life completely into God, then within 3 days doubt will come. Am I wasting my life just doing this? And there are other people who don't believe. See, look at this John, he doesn't believe. For him also sun comes up in the morning, for him also flowers blossom, from him also life happens. Looks like he's having a better time than me. It's a little doubt, he knows there is God, just a little doubt. Now there is an enlightened being here, he wants to confirm. But after being a well-known devotee for a long time, because he did not just go to the temple, he built many temples. At this stage in his life, how to ask whether there is God or not now? So he came early morning, stood in the shadows there and asked this inevitable question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and gave a clear, emphatic no. Here this large congregation of disciples, this has always been a struggle in their mind, is there God or no God, is there God or no God? Oof, one big relief. Whenever they ask such a question to Gautama, he just becomes silent, he doesn't say anything. For the first time he gave a clear answer, no God. Joy spread across the congregation. Just the struggle, is there God or no God, is over. The enlightened one has declared there is no God. The message spread across the town. Through the day, celebrations happened because just imagine the freedom of it. No God means nobody sitting up there keeping accounts of what you did and what you did not do to punish you, burn you in hell or do this or that. Life is completely yours. So through the day, celebrations happened. Everybody is in great joy. The evening, once again the congregation is sitting, another man came. He also standing in the shadows. This man is a Charvaka. Charvaka means, in India, there are groups of people who are known as Charvakas. These Charvakas are out and out materialists. They don't believe anything other than what they can see. Probably this is the only culture that allows this. You will see actively missionaries of God going from village to village spreading their God message. and missionaries of no God going from village to village, arguing with people and proving to them how there is no God. Probably this is the only culture that allows that. Anywhere else they would be killed. So if you want, you can spread God, or if you want, you can spread no God. This is true democracy, you know. This has been there like this for thousands of years. People come and set up arguments in the village and they prove to you how there is no God. So this is an expert Charvaka. Whatever kind of believer you are, if you talk to him for 10 minutes, he'll prove to you no God. For thousands of people, he's proved no God, no God, no God. Age is passing, little doubt has come. Suppose there is God. When I go there, will he leave me? And all these believers say that he's got all kinds of torture equipment up there. So because I went about proving to everybody that he doesn't exist, he may torture me much more. He knows there is no God. He's proved to thousands of people there is no God. Just a little doubt. Now there's an enlightened being here. He wants to confirm. So he appeared there in the evening. And he asked the same inevitable question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and said, yes. Once again turmoil started. Morning he said, no God, they were all really happy. In the evening he says, there is God. So what's the game Gautama is trying to play? See, if you believe there is God, or if you believe there is no God, you're in the same boat. You believe something that you do not know. I believe this, you believe that, doesn't make any difference. You can believe whatever you want. Yes? Everybody can believe whatever they want. It need not have anything to do with reality as such. If you say, I do not know, the longing to know will arise within you. If the longing arises, the seeking arises. If the seeking arises, the possibility of knowing exists. Inner beauty? Yes. If you have the right kind of eyes, everything is absolutely beautiful. Relative thing is a social factor, again, it's a training, it depends on what kind of data has gone into your mind. But if you're in a certain state of joy and you look at anything, everything is beautiful. When you're unhappy, only certain things are beautiful, certain things are ugly. When you're very happy, you look at anything, everything looks absolutely beautiful. See, there are many ways to look at this. One simple way is, right now you may be identified with many things, starting from your physical body to your mind, to your education, to your religion, to your society, to various things that you hold in your life. But when you simply sit here, if you simply sit with me right now, you're just a piece of life, isn't it? A certain amount of life energy, that's all you are, isn't it so? Identified with many, many things, but fundamentally you're just a certain amount of life energy. So this life energy which you call as myself at this moment, this life energy sometimes has been very joyful. Has it been? Has it been? Please say yes, otherwise it's tragedy. Sometimes it's been utterly miserable, sometimes very peaceful, sometimes turmoil, sometimes agony, sometimes ecstasy. This has happened to this, isn't it? So this life energy which you call as myself is capable of all these things. So if this life energy is capable of all these things, if you were given a choice, what kind of expression your life energy should find right now in this moment, what would you choose, agony or ecstasy? Definitely ecstasy. So if there was a conscious choice about how to keep your life energies right now, definitely you would have kept yourself absolutely joyful and ecstatic. Only because a large part of you is happening unconsciously, other things which you do not want are happening within you. What you do not want is happening in the world, you cannot stop it 100%. Only to some extent we manage these things. But within you, you are the only ingredient. In the world there are a million things. See, if we want to create a situation the way we want it, we need the cooperation of 100 people around us. All of them will never cooperate 100%. They will all play the game that way, isn't it? In any given situation. Even if you're just two people in the family, you cannot have the situation 100% the way you want it. Yes or no? This is the reality with outside. But with the inside, you are the only reality. Nobody in the world happens your way. At least this one person must happen your way, isn't it? But right now even this person is not happening your way, that's why you're asking what is the way to joy. Your mind is not happening the way you want it, your body is not happening the way you want it, your emotion is not happening the way you want it, nor your life energies are happening the way you want it. We need to do something about it, isn't it? If all these four are happening the way you want them, you would definitely be joyful every moment of your life, isn't it? Irrespective of what's happening around you. So we need to explore the technology. Because it's a subjective technology. Because the ingredient is you, it's about you. Unless we create a certain atmosphere of commitment and focus to look beyond certain things that you're identified with right now, it will not be possible to explore this. The reason why the spiritual sciences, especially in this country which was so rich in the mystical traditions, has become so ridiculous is people try to do it anywhere and everywhere without necessary committed atmospheres.
You have talked about Kriya Yoga being a path for the tough people. Are there any women Kriya Yogis on the path?
Women?
Women Kriya Yogis on the path?
There have been, but very few, because Kriya Yoga demands a certain extreme sense of discipline and perseverance at certain stages of its sadhana. Generally, it's not that it's not possible, but generally, women did not choose Kriya Yoga because they don't like that kind of hardship. It is not necessary that Kriya Yoga should mean hardship, no. But biologically, a woman is slightly disadvantaged when it comes to Kriya Yoga. Not essentially so, but to a certain extent she is disadvantaged. But what I have seen and known is the general Kriya Yoga that was taught was mostly designed for a male because most of the practitioners were male. So generally, only men walk the path of Kriya Yoga because it involved a certain discipline and it involved a certain taking away from the normal situations of life, which was not possible at all in this culture for a woman, because by the time she was 8 or 9, she was married. By the time she was 15, she had a child. So the question of she going into such atmospheres which Kriya Yoga demands was not available. So traditionally, it got established like Kriya Yoga means it's for men only. Not because yoga is of that nature, because social conditions were of that nature. So all the practices that were designed and structured by various masters were all male-oriented because their disciples were male. Accordingly, they structured the processes. This does not mean no woman has walked Kriya Yoga path, no, many have, but they were a very small minority. So not too many practices were designed for them.
But the systems that we have structured here are suitable for women also. They're doing well with their practices. So can a woman walk Kriya Yoga? Yes, she can. But if she wants to walk Kriya as 100% path, she's slightly disadvantaged. She's come with a little handicap. So she needs little extra effort if she's willing to do that. But it's always best if one wants to progress, to mix all aspects of life, to create a proper combination of these four dimensions of jnana, karma, kriya and bhakti. And in a woman generally, the emotional dimension in him, in her, is more dominant than other dimensions. It's good to make use of that. Why give up an advantage and take up a handicapped position? It's better to make use of the advantages that she has.
Sadhguru, you mentioned about the fact that, a true devotee is the one who is willing to give himself up and his agendas. How does one work with this philosophy in, let's say, any work in this corporate world or
You cannot.
in this business?
You just cannot, because you have your own agendas. So don't waste your time on devotion, you must explore other ways. Devotion means taking your emotion to its highest pitch. Yes? Isn't it so? You have various kinds of emotions. Devotion is held as the highest form of emotion because it's least entangling, it's liberating. So taking your emotion to its highest pitch, devotees are insane people, they are not reasonable people as far as the world is concerned. They're very beautiful people within themselves, but as far as the society is concerned, they're usually insane people. Your Mirabais, I don't know if you've heard of the South Indian devotees, Akka Mahadevis, all these people are very insane people. You can't live with them. After they are gone, you can worship them. When they are there, nobody could understand what the hell is happening with these people. I know Meera is so worshipped in the northern part of the country. There is a wonderful book called Cuckold, written by Kiran Nagarkar. This is life perspective of Meerabai's husband. Let's say you have a wife who believes she is Krishna's wife, not yours. All the time, she's going into such states that it's like Krishna is with him, with her, she's dancing with him, she's loving him, she's kissing him, she's everything, okay? She's so deeply involved. Now you are the husband. Are you going to appreciate her devotion or go insane with your own problems? Isn't it? So this book is the husband's perspective of Meera's life, how he experienced Meera. Because devotees are like that, they don't belong to the logical dimension of life, they are of a different thing. Devotion is one of the quickest ways to attain, but you won't fit into normal, social and other situations. It's not possible. If you want to fit into normal situations, your family and social situations, and still pursue spirituality, I am not saying devotion is completely absent in you. There is a part of you. Your emotions are there, so naturally certain amount of devotion happens here and there. But you can't choose it as a path, because you still want life to happen the way you want it. When you want life to happen the way you want it, you should just learn to use your body and mind the way you want it. Then only things will happen the way you want it, isn't it? You can also attain through your intelligence. You can also attain through your physical action. You can also attain by transforming your inner energies. But you're not just any one of them, you're a combination. So we're choosing a combination of these things so that without disturbing external realities, you can still evolve. If you want to preserve the external realities and still evolve, then naturally there are compromises, you go slowly. You're not bothered what happens to your corporate world or to your husband or wife or child or anything. You just want to grow. Then it's very quick. You want to preserve this also, but you want something else to happen. That is why we are going slowly. With different people we do different things. There are some people who are not concerned about all those things. With them we work in a different way. Now you are people who want to preserve the external situation, but still you want an internal possibility. So we are going slowly, a combination of all these things, not putting anything to a high pitch, everything trying to raise to the next level of experience, not to the ultimate. We are just seeing how to push it to the next level of experience. Devotion and corporate world will not go. Devotion and family life will not go. Devotion and anything will not go. Devotion means everything else has to dissolve. That's why I'm saying, don't talk devotion, it's just deception. Some moments when your experience raises to a certain pitch, a moment of devotion may happen to you. Just wait for that moment, it's very wonderful. But don't try to pursue devotion as your policy, because there is a very deep deception in it.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru Ji. Could you please explain me what is aura?
What is?
Aura. A-U-R-A, aura.
Oh. Every substance on the planet has a certain field of energy around it. Or what you see as substance on the planet is actually energy. It's a scientific fact. That the whole existence is energy. One part of the energy has manifested itself into a certain level of reverberation which makes it a physical form. Another part of the energy does not manifest itself into a physical form, but it still has a form. So that form, which is not yet physical or refuses to become physical, but still maintains a form, that's an aura. Or that's being called an aura. Auras are of many kinds. One can carry from a pitch black aura to a pure white aura. Between these two, there are a million shades. Essentially, the physical, mental, emotional, and the energy status of who you are right now, in a certain way, is represented by your aura, or it's visible through the aura. Too many fancy things have been told about it by particularly by the New Age community today. A lot of it is fiction. There is some substance to it. I don't think you should concern yourself about such things.
Don't try to see people's aura. Aura is the periphery of the person. I would like you to look a little more at the core of the being rather than looking at the surface. Surface is for the doctors because they want to fix some physical part that may be going wrong with somebody. Surface should not be the interest of a spiritual seeker. This is more surface than the skin. What you call as aura is even more superficial than the skin because it's even further out. So it may have certain… if one has the necessary insight, may have certain… give you certain access to the nature of the person, but you're only looking at the psychological, emotional and physical structure of the human being. It is best people on the spiritual path ignore the aura, yours and everybody's, and focus on the core. If you're focused on the core, you will have a wonderful aura. If your focus is on the surface, you will have a miserable aura. So don't keep looking at other people's aura and your own. It's time you looked at the core of this one and that one. If you look at the core of this one, then naturally you'll see the core of everything, because in core, this and that doesn't exist. In core, only this exists. On the surface, this and that exists. So, you know, people said beauty is skin deep. Yes, certain type of beauty is skin deep. You wouldn't like somebody with their skin peeled off. If you saw somebody's skin peeled off, you wouldn't think they are beautiful even if they're the same people. That way, yes. But aura is not even skin deep, so it's not worth spending time on it. If you become conscious of the core, the surface may be just visible to you, but you trying to see and read people's auras is a stupid thing to do. You'll waste your life trying to do such things. If you're conscious, if your perception is enhanced, you may see things. It's good to see things which are there. If you start seeing things which are not there, that's… you are graduating from ashram to asylum. If lot of you go in that direction, we can transform the ashram into an asylum. Yes. So it's very important. We want to keep this as an ashram. You want to make it into an asylum? No, we want to keep this as an ashram. So please, if you want to keep this as an ashram, you must be focused on the core, not on the surface. Too much surface means we'll make the place into an asylum. All kinds of nutcases who believe they are spiritual, there are too many like that on the planet. They are the biggest deterrent for other people to seek any spirituality. Because of too many nutcases like this, right-thinking people who are little more sensible don't want to have anything to do with spirituality. So, please don't make this into an asylum. If you need to go, we will promote you, but don't turn the place into an asylum. The ancient temples in India, if you're really talking about ancient temples, yes, the temples were built to a certain science called agama. You heard of agama? There are 5 basic parameters with which the temple was built. If the temple is built according to that, the size and shape of the temple, the size and shape of the parikrama, the size and shape of the garbhagriha, the sanctum, the size and shape of the idol, the mudra that the idol holds, the mantras that are used to consecrate this, if all these things are properly matched, it will create a tremendous field of energy. You need to understand, Indian temple is not a place of prayer. There is nobody leading a prayer in the Indian temple. The Hindu temples, there is nobody to lead your prayer. You go there and do what you want. Nobody telling you must sit down and pray and do this or that. Though now you started the request sheet, paying 5 rupees and telling God what he should do, you started that recently. Otherwise, your culture told you if you go to the temple, they did not even tell you must pray, but they told you must sit there for some time. Is that so? Still exists in South India, in North it is gone. In South India, still families are aware that if you go to the temple, you must sit there for a while. Now you just touch your bottom and go away, touch your bottom to the floor and go away, or you sit there and discuss your neighbor or the cinema or something else. The idea was, if there is a strong field of energy, you simply sit there quietly and imbibe this. So the culture told you, first thing in the morning, you have a shower, go sit in the temple, then go out and do your business. Because once you step into the world, whatever kind of transaction you do, my profit is your loss is my profit, this is how it is, isn't it? Yes? Every transaction is like this, isn't it so? So when you transact like this, you tend to get worked up. Because somewhere you're losing, somewhere you're gaining, one day your losses may be more than the gains. It is not just in terms of money. In every relationship, transaction also, there is loss and gain, isn't it so? Yes? So you could get worked up. So morning, you go and imbibe this and go into the world so that you pass through the world smoothly. At the same time, it was also said, people on the spiritual path need not go to the temple. Nowhere else in the world such wisdom exists. Do you know this? People on the spiritual path need not go to the temple. The Indian temple does not look forward to people on the spiritual path because they have their own self-charging methods. This is a public charging place. Public battery charging place is what a temple is. Now you invented your own self-charging method, no need to go to the public place. You are from Tirupur? No. So if you live in Tirupur, you have to go to the public tap to get your water. Now you got your own tap in the house. Now you're not going to go and stand in the queue there, isn't it? That's all the difference is. That's a very wise way of conducting things. But now you're building the temples just the way you build your shopping complexes, probably for the same purpose. That's a different game altogether. About the lingas in the temple. Just some time ago, usually I don't go to the temples unless they're of architectural importance. I never go to the temple because I have nothing to seek in a temple. I got self-charging systems. There is nothing that temple can add to me in any way, so I don't go. I don't even go to this one, I just created it for people. Once in a way, when something is happening, I go, otherwise I don't. So, some time ago when I was in Himalayas, I just went to this Uttarkashi temple. Oh my God, this lingam you must see. It is bursting with energy, 2,250 years old. It is like it was done yesterday. It is bursting with energy. You must just go there and see. Just the presence is so fantastic. Jnana-linga is also like that, but that is unidimensional linga. So it is more aggressive. This happens in a subtle way because it's multidimensional. It is much more subtle, but there it is very, very unidimensional and strong.
Sadhguru, what are your views on adultery? How does it affect one spiritually?
If there is no love in your heart, you are anyway an adulteress. For convenience and comfort, if you have given yourself to any aspect of life, not necessarily a man or a woman for that matter, without love in your heart, if you have given yourself to any aspect of life, you are an adulterer, isn't it? So am I against adultery? Yes, in that sense, yes, with every aspect. But if you're talking about what is considered socially as adultery, it is individual, and for every action that you perform, there is a consequence. Most people I know, they are not willing to face the consequences when they come. But without facing consequences, they want to have situations that they enjoy. Then anybody who is not willing to joyfully accept the consequences that come to them for whatever actions they perform is just a fool. And a fool is somebody who is against himself in so many ways. Anybody who works against himself, anybody who turns himself against himself or herself against herself, what shall we say about them? So, with your actions, if you're turning yourself against yourself, because you do things senselessly, you're not doing things by choice, you're doing things senselessly, simply because you have given in to a certain aspect of your body or your emotion or something, then definitely it's not okay. Because you will bring suffering to yourself. Anything that brings suffering to any human being, especially to himself, is it okay? Anybody who simply goes about bringing suffering to themselves for whatever reason they have, it doesn't make sense, isn't it? I'm not against or for anything. I want you to live sensibly. What makes utmost sense to you, you must do that. Is this wrong, is that wrong? That's not the point. Are you living your life sensibly? That's the question. Or are you a slave of something and trying to find approval from me for some nonsense that you do? No. I have neither approved any action or disapproved any action. As long as you're behaving sensibly about what you're doing. A senseless life is sin, isn't it? If you live sensibly, in a way that Creator will be proud of you, it's fine. If you've just given into either the ways of your body or your emotion or your mind and going against yourself, it's not sensible. So such senselessness, is it wrong? I'm not even saying it's wrong, it's just very limited and stupid. I have never termed anything right or wrong in my life. But anything that's limited and stupid is not worthwhile, that's all. So I would say adultery is not worthwhile. Is it right or wrong? Who am I to pass a judgment on anything about life? I don't pass judgments about life, but it is stupid and limited.
to do anything which causes suffering to yourself. It is stupid and senseless to give in to something which seems to be everything today and tomorrow it will make you feel like a fool, isn't it? It's stupid to give in to something which makes you think today it's everything and tomorrow morning it makes you look like a fool to yourself, not to somebody else. That is a senseless way to live. You must live in such a way, with so much sense, that God should be envious of you. If you show such sense, there's no right and wrong with your life. If you don't have such sense, everything is wrong with your life.
Pranams, Sadhguru. I get up at 6 a.m.
I'm sorry?
I get up at 6 a.m. Hurry-burry cooking. Get the children ready. Start by 8:30 a.m. to the office. Back from the office by 6:30. Then freshening up the children, myself, prayer, cook food, homework, sleep. In this hectic schedule, where can I fit yoga in my life?
Now, you get up at 6 o'clock and whatever time you go to bed, you have a busy day. Where is the time for yoga? You have time to eat, you have time to gossip, you have time to work, you have time to take care of everything, but you have no time to take care of yourself. That's what you're telling me. Now, this attitude is like you try to act like a martyr all the time. I have no time for myself, I'm giving myself totally to everybody. What is it that you're giving? Your agitations, irritations, your anxieties, passing it on to children, isn't it? If you're really concerned about your children, if you're truly concerned about your children, creating a joyful and loving atmosphere for their growth is most important. Not providing them shiny boots, not providing them better clothes, not providing them video games, not providing them something else is important. You creating an atmosphere of joy and love around them on a daily basis, moment to moment, is more important than all the nonsense that you're providing, isn't it so? Isn't it so? Yes or no? So what is your focus about life? If you're able to manage your work and your children, everything, do it. If you're unable to, do what you can do. Everybody can only do that much, isn't it? You want to do everything in the world, you will definitely go insane. How much you can do, each individual has to decide. Somebody may be able to get up at 6 o'clock and do all these things joyfully. Somebody else is not able to do. Accordingly, they have to adjust their life, isn't it? Now you have not gotten into all this, not because that's what you want to do, you are trying to be like somebody else. That's your whole problem. You want to have what other people have. You don't know whether you really need it or not. With all this work, what you have earned, your children, your husband, your wife or whatever, you're no more enjoying it. Then why do you need all this? All these things you created because you thought this is the source of your joy, isn't it? But right now, that has become the source of your anxiety and misery. Then you better look at the fundamentals of your life once again, isn't it? Isn't it so? You got educated, you found a job, you married, you produced children, all this why? Because you thought this is going to be the source of your happiness and well-being, isn't it so? But now that is taking your life. If it is so, you must look at it. One thing is, maybe if you're incapable of handling it, maybe you have to scale it down. If you're capable of enhancing your capabilities, you must do that. Now, if you invest, let us say, even 30 minutes a day into your yoga, you will see you will gain immensely, even in terms of time. One first thing that will happen is, your sleep quota will come down. Now if you're sleeping for 8 hours a day, that means 1/3 of your life you're sleeping it off, isn't it? 1/3 of your life you're just sleeping it off. If your body and your mind is more energized and active, your sleep quota will naturally come down. So if you gain 3-4 hours a day, just in terms of wakefulness, that's a huge thing, isn't it? Apart from that, if your body and mind was more organized, you would see. What I have found with people is, with simple process of yoga, within 6 to 8 weeks, lot of them, their level of performance becomes such, what they were doing in 8 hours, they're very easily able to do it in 3 to 4 hours. Simply because if you observe yourself through the day, suppose we take a video of your whole day without you being aware of it, you will notice how much unnecessary movement and unnecessary words and unnecessary activities are happening in your life. You must do it one day. Please hire a video cameraman and ask him to shoot you without you knowing about it. You will see how many unnecessary things you're doing in a day. If your mind became more organized, these unnecessary words, these unnecessary actions, these unnecessary things will disappear. Once they go away, you have lot of time, you have 24 hours to live, you know. Now, we don't have to make this into 26 hours, 24 hours are enough. We can do a lot in 24 hours. If we are organized and focused human beings, we can do plenty in 24 hours' time. If you're disorganized and unfocused, you think there is no time, most of you are not busy, you're just preoccupied, aren't you? Isn't it so? Isn't it so? There's too much preoccupation in the mind. So, whoever the lady, please invest this half an hour a day. Get up at 5:30, okay? And you will see, suddenly the quality of your life will be very different. Don't go on with this argument, I have no time. Make time and see, it'll make a huge difference.
Some female spiritual leaders have said that it is better for a woman to seek a female guru. Is it so?
It's better. They say that? Okay. Now, one thing, if you're still a female or a male, it means you're not yet spiritual. And especially if you're still seeing a guru as a male or as a female, you have no possibility. You are still not able to disidentify yourself with your body parts, it's okay. If you're still identifying your guru also with his body parts or her body parts, then you just don't know what it is. This is coming from absolute ignorance. This is a reaction to thousands of years of being downtrodden. Socially may be correct, spiritually not relevant. If you look at your guru either as a man or a woman, you'll miss the whole point.
What do you think of time?
See, from where to where we're jumping.
Time is again I won't create.
Yes, definitely. Otherwise, how do I tell you what time to come for dinner? If we all become timeless, how to invite you for dinner, tell me?
We are all slaves to it.
We don't have to be slaves to it, it's a device that we used for our convenience. See, if we don't divide this day into 24 hours, would you know when to come here for dinner? It's a convenience. Where is the question of enslavement?
I come when I'm hungry, even if it's here.
So you may come when you're hungry, but there may be no dinner when you come. You may not feel hungry till 1 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't mean it's the dinner time here.
You get
See.
too bound by
Hmm.
when time
See, any convenience that we create for yourself, time or money or a car or a technology that we created for our convenience, out of our unawareness, we get enslaved to it. There is nothing wrong with the device that we created. There's nothing wrong with the car, there's nothing wrong with the money, there's nothing wrong with the time. You got enslaved to it out of your unawareness. That's the problem, isn't it? Time is not the problem, money is not the problem, car is not the problem, any other technology is not the problem. You got enslaved to it, that is the problem. Enslavement happened because you're unaware. So your unawareness is the problem. So how to become aware? What is this awareness? Awareness is in many different levels. What you are aware of is all that exists for you. This must be understood. Right now you're sitting here, don't turn back and see. Right now there is a huge dinosaur standing behind you. You are not aware of it. Does it exist for you? No. So it doesn't matter, such a huge animal is standing there, you are not aware of it, so it doesn't exist for you. So only what you are aware of exists for you. Right now your awareness is limited to small aspect of your life. Whole aspect of spirituality means to become aware of everything that you are, so that before you go, you know life, you experience life in its totality, to live totally. To live and to live totally, that's spirituality, so that you know life in all dimensions. You don't go just knowing a little part of your life, you want to know all of it. So if you want to know all of it, how? If we have to use an analogy, let's say we turn down the voltage for the lights. Now let's say just one light is there, it just lights up only that much. Only that much we see. If you turn up the voltage, suddenly you're able to see much more because the light has spread. So awareness is just like this. Right now your energies, your body, your emotion, your mind, everything is functioning at a certain limited voltage. You crank up the voltage, suddenly you start seeing so many things which are not in your experience till that moment. So in a way, to put it very simply, to put it technically, you need to turn up your voltage. The voltage, the life voltage within you. Today she was saying, she doesn't want to sleep because she wants to live. If you don't want to sleep, I don't want to sleep will not take away sleep. You turn up your voltage, suddenly, no sleep. You can turn up your voltage simply with your enthusiasm, but that will not take you all the way. There are other kinds of technologies to turn up your voltage in a certain way, where all the time you're high. See, within myself right now, I'm absolutely drunk. Not with alcohol, okay? I never touched it. I'm totally drunk within myself. Am I balanced enough and logical enough to handle any situation? Yes? So all the time I'm fully drunk on one level, another level I'm perfectly sane. If I want to flip, any moment I'll flip. If you are like this, inside you're fully charged, outside you're controlled. This is what is needed in your life if you want to experience life in its totality. You try to exercise control over your life and you started putting this control over your very process of life. So life is happening like a trickle. Life within you should happen like a huge explosion, but outside it is fully controlled. You will see initially when you go into your face like this, even the outside tends to happen like an explosion for some time. But within a limited period of time, you will gather control over it. Outside is controlled, inside is an explosion. That's how it should be, every moment of your life. Within you, life should be an absolute explosion. Outside of you, it is properly controlled. When it's like this, you will get to use your physical body, your mind, your emotion, everything that you have to its fullest extent. Things that you never thought you were capable of, suddenly you start doing simply because your voltage is full. Right now, the most important thing in the world is human consciousness. Tremendous technologies have come. All these technologies, if they have to become meaningful force in human well-being, it is first the human being that we need to work on. Great things are available in our hands, but if we don't have human beings who are in a certain level of
perception and wisdom, then all these technologies can be a big disaster for humanity. At least if you were not empowered with technology, maybe we didn't have to so much bother about human consciousness, we could have allowed another 500 years of stupidity. But not anymore. The way the technology is growing, if human beings don't grow accordingly, we are going to make a big disaster out of everything. Do you see the disaster always lurking on the edge? It can just happen any moment. So when we are hugely empowered, when we are slowly with the aid of science and technology, we are becoming like giants. If you were just an ant, it was okay how you walk, you can crawl upon anybody, it's all right. Once you become a giant, you better walk carefully, isn't it? Extremely carefully, otherwise every step will be disaster. So in many ways, humanity has become a huge giant, hugely empowered. It's time that they walk very, very cautiously with full awareness, otherwise they will step upon themselves and finish it off. There are some things that need to happen around us. This is not my mission, it is not my life's mission that I have to fulfill it. If it doesn't happen, I will die unsatisfied. There is no such thing for me. There are people for whom some things are needed. Anyway, we are doing some nonsense in our life. Let's do something useful, that's all. Anyway, some nonsense we have to do, isn't it? You cannot keep quiet. I can keep quiet without doing anything. You cannot keep quiet. Anyway, you will do something. Why don't you do something which is useful? Why don't you do something which will touch people's lives? That's all. So, reaching out to another human being need not happen because you have taken a vow, I'm going to do it. Keep your humanity active, anyway it will happen. How can you not do it? How can you not do it that you hold as a part of yourself? So when it comes from that, it'll happen gently, well. You take up a mission, somebody will become your enemy, you know. Whatever the mission, if you stand up for a mission, there'll be some other mission which will stand against you. So don't take up a mission, just keep your humanity in full force. What has to happen, what you can do will anyway happen. So, you yourself cannot go to the village, you yourself cannot go to the slum and do all that. Somebody else is doing it, at least do something to make that happen, that's all.
Attention, how does attention come into?
Attention is just mental alertness. Mental alertness and awareness are two different things. Awareness is purely life. What level of intensity your life is functioning, that is the level of awareness you are. But mental attention, you can put it on and put it off. Your aliveness, you cannot put it on and put it off. It's on. What is the level of intensity is all there is. But mental attention, you can close it, isn't it? You can turn it on, you can turn it off, isn't it so? You can pay attention to something, you can withdraw your attention from something. Is it so? So that's a different dimension. That is the act of the mind. That is again not reality. It is just attention of the mind. It is the act of the mind. Mind can do many things, but it's of a different dimension. It is psychological, it is not existential. We'll leave it there. More questions? That's exactly what we went through just now. What's your name, I'm sorry? Huh? Kavita? We just went through that. You didn't pay attention. Huh? Okay. So right now, are you awake? First, are you alive? Yes. Next, are you awake? How awake? Awake enough. Awake enough to hear what I say. Awake enough to see where I'm sitting. Awake enough to know that this many people are around you, yes? Now that you're this awake, you're perceiving all these facts which are around you. You know this many people are around you, you know I am speaking, you know I am sitting here, all these things you're perceiving. How? Through what? Through your sense organs. Not only through your eyes, through your ears and certain amount of other senses also working. So through your 5 sense organs, you're perceiving right now. Because you're at a certain level of wakefulness, you're perceiving what is around you, at least the physical around you, yes? You don't know what is happening in the person who is sitting next to you, isn't it? You do not know what's happening in this man's mind, you do not know what's happening in that man's heart, you do not know what's happening in his energy, you don't know all these things. But at least the physical reality you have perceived, you are wakeful to that point. Suppose you feel little drowsy, then you find you don't know what I'm talking about. Did it happen? Suppose you feel little drowsy, what's happened? Your wakefulness has come to a lower grade. Because your wakefulness has come to a lower grade, do you see I am talking, but you are not perceiving? Yes or no? Ears are still open, isn't it? Nobody plugged it. Sound is definitely going and hitting the eardrums, isn't it so? What I speak is anyway going and hitting the eardrums or no? It is, but still you are not perceiving because your wakefulness has gone one level lower than what it is right now. So if it can get lower, you can also get it higher, isn't it, logically? So, if your wakefulness move into higher and higher dimensions, if it has to get there, you have to crank up your energy. If your energy, life energy moves into higher levels of intensity, your wakefulness moves into higher dimensions of wakefulness. As your wakefulness moves into higher levels of dimensions, higher dimensions, your perception becomes clearer and clearer and the penetration of your perception deepens. Once the penetration of your perception deepens, it changes the very quality of your experience. Right now you sit here, there's just a man sitting next to you. Suppose your wakefulness becomes such, everything that's happening within him you know right now. Now your experience of sitting here is very different, isn't it? Yes or no? Does it make it clear? Now if you try to raise your wakefulness, it'll not happen. If you try to increase your perception, it'll not happen. If you try to widen your experience, it'll not happen. The only thing that is in your hands is, you can crank up the intensity of your life energies. You can only work on raising the voltage. You cannot work on increasing the light. Can you? Even physically, can you try to increase the penetration of light? But you can work on raising the voltage, isn't it? If you raise the voltage, all these other things will naturally happen.
The needs within a human being have risen because of a certain sense of incompleteness. People are forming relationships to experience a certain sense of completeness within themselves. When you have a good relationship with someone dear to you, you feel complete. When you don't have that, you feel incomplete. Why is this so? Because this life, this piece of life, is a complete entity by itself. Why is it feeling incomplete? And why is it trying to fulfill itself by making a partnership with another piece of life? Fundamental reason is that we have not explored this life in its full depth and dimension. Though that is the basis, there is a complex process of relationships as such. There are expectations. And expectations and expectations and expectations. The expectations that most people are creating are such that there is no human being on the planet who could ever fulfill those expectations.
In the process of holding a relationship, the first moment of meeting, the expectations may be common, but as every step that we take in life, the expectations may become different. Because these expectations keep changing in people, they're not consistent and they cannot be. One person may be consistent with the same expectation throughout their life, another person's expectations may be changing because his perception and experience of life is changing. Now, relationships become great conflict. More conflict is happening within the four walls of the homes than is happening anywhere on the planet. Only thing is, bombs are not exploding, so you don't hear it. They may be giving each other silent treatment. It is happening because people's expectations are changing and they're not changing at the same pace. Fundamentally, why have we sought a relationship? Because you find yourself that without a relationship, if you do not have any kind of relationship in your life, then you become depressed. So, fundamentally you're seeking a relationship because you want to be happy, you want to be joyful. Or in other words, you're trying to use the other as a source of your happiness. If you're happy by your own nature, now relationships will become a means for you to express your happiness, not to seek happiness. If you're forming relationships to seek happiness and trying to squeeze happiness out of somebody, and that person is trying to squeeze happiness out of you, now this is going to be a painful relationship after some time. Initially it may be okay because something is being fulfilled. But if you have become a joy by yourself and you're forming relationships because you want to express your happiness, nobody's going to complain about you because you're in the process of expressing your joy, not seeking joy from the other person. So if your life becomes an expression of your joy, not in pursuit of happiness, then relationships will be naturally wonderful. You can hold 1,000,000 relationships and still hold them good. Now, this whole circus of trying to fulfill somebody else's expectations does not arise, because if you are an expression of joy, anyway they want to be with you. The fear is simply because you're not living with life, you're living in your mind. Your fear is always about what's going to happen next. That means your fear is always about that which does not exist. If your fear is about the non-existent, your fear is 100% imaginary. If you're suffering the non-existential, we call that insanity. So, people may be in just socially accepted levels of insanity, but if you're afraid or if you're suffering anything which does not exist, it amounts to insanity, isn't it? People are always suffering, either what happened yesterday or what may happen tomorrow. So your suffering is always about that which does not exist, simply because you're not rooted in reality. You're always rooted in your mind. Mind is… one part of it is memory, another part of it is imagination. Both of them are in one way imagination, because both of them don't exist right now. You're lost in your imagination, that's the basis of your fear. If you were rooted in reality, there would be no fear. Why is there poverty and suffering in the world? See, one thing is poverty, the way we describe poverty right now is very, dependent upon certain standards that we have set ourselves. Who is poor, who is rich is decided by certain standards that certain societies have set. 10,000 years ago, living in a cave was a luxury. If you had a good cave for yourself and something to cover yourself, it was a great life. Today we have created so many things for our well-being, so anybody who cannot afford to have that, we consider that poverty. So what's poverty in one society need not be poverty in another society. So this trying to have a world view of common sense of poverty, saying that if you earn anything less than $10 per hour, you're poor, I think is an improper way of looking at the world. I know in South India, if a man earns $2 per day, not per hour, he can live well, he can live reasonably okay. The kind of prosperity that we are talking about, our standards of prosperity are completely unrealistic and ecologically unsustainable. So this idea of poverty and prosperity needs to go through a lot of change. I come from a culture where people have chosen many times, not now, many times to be consciously poor, by choice. This is a culture where kings have chosen to walk as beggars. So, poverty is not necessarily in terms of whether you have a car to drive or not, whether you have a big house to live or not, that's not so. Definitely the world is poor because in spite of all this wealth, in spite of all this comfort and conveniences that science has heaped upon us, still people are living joyless, still people are living not knowing how to live. We know how to go to the Mars, but we still don't know how to live on this planet. That's definitely poverty.
Sadhguru, what can I do for my guru? How can I support you? I felt that I want to do something, I don't know what.
The best thing you can do is don't poison yourself with all those things. That's the best thing you can do for your guru. I want all of you to remember this. The best thing that you can ever do for your guru, if at all if you feel like you want to do, is that you drop your nonsense and grow. What's the best thing a garden can do for a gardener? To grow and bloom, isn't it? No, we want to do this to you, we want to do that to you. That's not the intention. That's not the goal. The best thing you can do for anybody is, you must do what they want, isn't it? Not what you want. Always this is the problem. The best thing you can do for anybody is, you must do what they want. All this activity, I'm a very… people who have known me early, I was an extremely taciturn person. I never said anything. There were days when I was not on silence, nor was I spiritual, okay? I was just there because most of the time, whether you went to school or college or wherever you went, whether the students spoke or the teacher spoke, everybody spoke such nonsense. Most of the time I chose to remain silent because I was terrified of their conversations. They opened their mouth. If they did not kill you with their bare breath, they kill you with horrible conversation. Very few people on this planet can simply joyfully say something, it doesn't matter. You don't have to say some great thing. Simply pouring out of their heart, saying something, or simply able to be with another person, very few people. All others are desperately trying to be smart, or they're repeating something they heard somewhere, something they read somewhere, some nonsense endlessly. So I would never speak. Very rarely I would speak. In some places I was exuberantly boisterous, but in most of the other places I was
Because I understood if I don't speak, they won't speak. That saves me. So now all this endless talking, this activity, non-stop, doesn't matter where I am, constantly I'm in groups of people, not even with individual people, constantly with huge groups of people. Either in public, sitting behind a microphone, or wherever I walk, there are minimum 10 people around me. So, this is not my personal choice. This is a terrible need that there is in the world. That if you do not communicate the way people know, if you do not behave and act the way people know right now, if you don't walk 2 steps with them, you can never walk them in a different direction. So, there is nothing you can do. The best thing you can do is you grow and blossom. Drop your nonsense. Your past nonsense, you leave it to me. Present nonsense, you handle. If you do that, that's the best thing. Now suppose you died. Even if I died, I will not stop the spiritual part of my activity. So I'm not so concerned about that. Yes, we're concerned. The foundation could be hurt, activity could be hurt, but not the spiritual part of the work. The concern is that people will be here and if they don't grow, I planted people in my garden and they never blossomed. That I'm terrified of. So, those of you who are very patient, who want to come here for 10 lifetimes and do it, I'm okay with them, but I think we must build an outer ashram for them. Even here there is in a way, but we wouldn't like that to be here because of various reasons. We would like everybody who comes here to be absolutely there in the very core of what's happening. I don't want to create a core and a periphery here. Here there's only one burning spot, that's everywhere. So, if you you've seen the popcorn? You never seen popcorn? It's just a damn corn, how it flowered, the right amount of heat. But some get burnt, some won't pop. That's because they don't. All of them were given the same heat, but some don't receive it properly. They do funny things, and instead of popping, they get charred. Instead of flowering, have you seen a popcorn flowering? That's one flower, you can see it happening, right? The other flowers take too much time. So right there, it opens up in front of you. So, have you seen this happening to people when they come to inner engineering, Bhava Spandana? In 3 days' time, people are like that. But we don't want them to stop there. Because we are Attanika Asapada people. You know what that means? We desire for everything, we don't desire for this much growth or that much growth. We are not willing to settle for anything less than the whole. If you are willing to settle for peace, we could settle you very easily. If you're willing to settle for love, we would settle you very easily. If you're willing to settle for blissfulness, we could settle you very easily. But we are attaneka asapadu. We won't settle for anything. We want it all. Because of that kind of mode, it's just on and on and on. If you're willing to settle for any one of those things, peace, love, satisfaction, happiness, we could have settled you up very easily. So if you just want to settle for any one of them, it's okay, it's your choice. But and you need not be in the core of things. You could be anywhere and still do that, you know. So, what could I do? Especially if Sadhguru is going to die tomorrow, you must blossom tonight, isn't it? So I want you to look at life like this. Either you may die or I may die tomorrow morning. So, something should happen tonight. Isn't it so? So don't think in terms of weeks and months and years and decades or lifetimes. Think in terms of moments. Because life is in moments.
For spiritual life, whether one has to search for a Sadhguru or it happens.
Where will you search? And how will you know who is Sadhguru and who is not Sadhguru? You have no way to judge, isn't it? So how do I seek something? You just seek. You simply seek, I want to know. The more you become I do not know, the deeper your seeking is, isn't it? Seeking does not mean seeking something. Seeking means seeking that which you do not know. If you have to seek, you should not make any assumptions, isn't it so? You already made an assumption, God is sitting up in the heaven, I am seeking Him. This is not seeking, this is just hallucination. Seeking means simply seeking. Seeking is possible only when a deep I do not know has happened within you. If a vacuum of I do not know happens within you, Sadhguru will happen to you. You don't have to search, because you don't know how to search. If you search with your intellect, naturally you will search for that kind of person with whom you are most comfortable, isn't it? See, if you seek a friend, what kind of friend do you seek? Do you seek a friend who punctures your ego every day? You seek a friend who nourishes your ego every day, isn't it? Yes or no? If somebody punctures your ego, he becomes your enemy, isn't it? So even if you seek a guru, you will only seek with this context, and that kind of guru who comforts you is no good to you. There is nothing spiritual about giving solace to people. It is just a psychological comfort, which your family can offer, which your dog can offer. Dog is good solace for you, isn't it? Yes or no? You have pets at home? They can be a great source of solace for you, isn't it so? You don't need a god for solace. You seek the beyond, not for solace, but for liberation, to become free from everything that you are right now. So if you are seeking a guru for solace, there are many. If you are seeking a guru for liberation, then if you sit with him, you feel threatened, you want to run away from him. But at the same time, you don't want to leave him for a moment. If you constantly feel threatened by him, at the same time you want to be with him, that means he's a good guru for you. If you're very comfortable with him, he is a no good guru for you. You must be constantly uncomfortable with him. At the same time you long to be with him, that is a good prescription for you.
Sadhguru, when I come for volunteering at IE program, my energy levels are very high. Even the same dishes when I wash at home, I don't feel the same energy level. How to make my home, my work, everything as an ashram.
You should give it all away to me. Really. Anyway, I'm not going to come and eat in your house every day. But in your mind, you must give it away. Because here you're doing it as an offering, it's a beautiful thing. There you're doing it as a chore, it's an ugly thing. Both the same work, it's just you, isn't it? Same dishes, same work, just you who can make it either miserable or joyful. So even what you do at home and office, why don't you do it as an offering? What's stopping you? I won't ask for you, I won't come and steal your salary, I won't come and eat your food. Why don't you just do it as an offering? It'll work beautifully. It'll work beautifully not only because your mindset has changed, above all you become receptive for grace. That's the most significant thing, that is the most important thing in your life, to become available to grace. If that one thing is not there, this is an uphill task, quite an impossible task. I wouldn't say impossible, but torturous. If you go with grace, you glide effortlessly, joyfully. If you try to walk, then it is a very torturous journey. I don't see what's the point in anybody making the process of life unpleasant for themselves. We do not know what big things will become in your life, whether you are going to climb Mount Everest or not, whether you are going to run 100 meters in we should talk 7 seconds or not, whether you're going to beat the Bolt or not, whether you're going to become a billionaire or not, we do not know. But this one thing you deserve, that the process of life was a pleasant experience for you. This one thing must happen to you, isn't it? This one thing every human being deserves, isn't it so? Other things according to their capabilities. All the other things according to their capabilities. This one thing every human being deserves, that you make the experience of life into a pleasant process. This much must happen, isn't it? Other things we don't know. They may happen, they may not happen because they're subject to various realities. It's not just you. Those situations are not just you, isn't it? Those situations are so many things. This one thing you can do it. If this one thing happens, life is beautiful. According to our capabilities, each one will do whatever we can do. That's all there is to life, isn't it? But this one thing should happen. So, you must be a volunteer, always. What being a volunteer means is, to volunteer means you're doing your life willingly. That's all it means. Right now if you say, I'm a volunteer, what it means is, I am doing whatever I am doing willingly. Yes? So this is all the choice you have. You can either do your life willingly or unwillingly. If you do it willingly, it becomes a love affair. If you do it unwillingly, it becomes a rape. If you do it willingly, it becomes your heaven. If you do it unwillingly, it'll become your hell. Yes? That's all the difference, isn't it? Anything that you're doing in your life, if you're doing it willingly, it's a beautiful thing. If it's happening to you unwillingly, it's a horrible thing, isn't it so? So being a volunteer does not mean washing dishes, does not mean cutting vegetables, does not mean this or that. Learning to become willing in all kinds of situations. That you do every moment of your life willingly, not unwillingly. Because the moment unwillingness comes, even if the most beautiful thing is happening to you, it feels like you're being buggered by life. Yes or no? Unwilling, you're unwilling, but we'll push you into heaven, you'll suffer. How do you know you're not already in heaven? Is there any proof? Is there any proof in your hands that this is not heaven? Then, because you're unwilling, even the heaven is ugly. If you're willing, it's very beautiful. And only if you are willing, you become available to grace. Otherwise, you have to plod every step, which is not easy. So, technology. Because the technology is subjective. Now, the technologies that you're handling are objective technologies. Now, I'm talking about a subjective technology. It's about you. Here, you are the software that you're trying to handle. Fundamentally, if you look at yourself, right now you are operating according to the software that you have become. Please see. What kind of family you were born in, what kind of parents, what kind of school, what kind of friends, what kind of atmosphere, what kind of religion, what kind of society, that's the kind of person you are right now, isn't it? So, software was written into you haphazardly by anybody and everybody that you came in touch with, not by trained professionals. Just about anybody who came, they put in something. Wherever you went, somebody stuffed something into your head. You had no choice from where to receive, where not to receive. If you say, I don't like this man, I don't want to receive anything from him, you will receive much more from him than anybody else. That's how this one is. So right now, the very way you think, feel, understand and act in your life is just the way your software is, isn't it? Yes? The very way you move your body is the way your software is. I want you to understand this. It is so deeply conditioned. If you are somebody you know very well, somebody whom you're very familiar with is walking 1 mile away, you can't recognize anything about that person, but just the way he moves, you know it is this person, isn't it? Because the very way his body moves, only moves whichever way his software is written. But this software was written unconsciously. Now, if we want some freedom to happen, if we want some transformation to happen, we have to create a little space between you and your software. You're too identified with it, you're just lost in it, that's all you become. Now you have to create a little distance. You've heard of a word called Buddha? If I say Buddha, probably you always think of Gautama the Buddha. Gautama is not the only Buddha, that's not his name. He became a Buddha. There have been thousands of Buddhas and there still are. What Buddha means is, Bhu means buddhi or the intellect. Dha means dada, one who is above. One who is above his intellect is a Buddha. Once you're above the intellectual process, suffering is finished in your life because all suffering is manufactured there in your logical mind. When you are into your intellect, when you are stuck in your intellect, you are a non-stop suffering human being. Wherever you put, you have a way of creating some kind of suffering. Your fears, your anxieties, your tensions, your stress. Just see, people are capable of suffering just about anything. Yes? Isn't it so? People are capable of suffering just about anything in the world, please see. If you're not educated, you will suffer that. If you get educated, you suffer that. If you don't find a job, you'll suffer that. If you find a job, you suffer that. If you're not married, you'll suffer that. If you get married, you suffer that. If you don't have children, you suffer that. If you have children, you suffer that, isn't it? People are capable of suffering just about anything. This is the nature of the intellect. Once you are into the intellect, this is how life is. If you are below the intellect, you won't suffer so much. Animals don't suffer as much as you suffer. Physical things, if they're taken care of, they're quite okay. They don't have the kind of suffering that human beings know, isn't it? So if you're below the intellect, you don't suffer so much. Like you asked that question. If you're above the intellect, you're a Buddha. If you're below the intellect, maybe we can call you Buddha. If you're in the intellect, non-stop suffering. So, to avoid suffering, people are inventing many ways to go below the intellect. Excessive eating, alcohol, excessive indulgence in physical pleasures. These are all the ways you're trying to avoid the torment of the intellect for some time. You get drunk and you feel good for a few hours, but then life will catch up with you with more intensity. It won't let you go. Now, this being which was below the intellect somehow evolved into the intellect. The only way out for this is to evolve beyond the intellect. So, the fundamentals of yoga, the technology is how to go beyond this. So, how to do it now? Subjective technologies cannot be explored in uncommitted atmospheres. You need a very committed, focused atmosphere, otherwise it will not be in your grasp. It's not a teaching, it's a method. To implement a method, you need to be in a certain way, in a certain level of commitment, in a certain level of receptivity, otherwise it doesn't work. Because, see now if you go into a chemistry laboratory, you take this chemical, if you put it into it, something happens. But if you're not willing to put it into it, if you sit here and think, what will this do, what will that do, you will come to all kinds of wrong conclusions. Till you put it there, you won't know. Maybe it'll explode in your face, but till you put it there, you will not know what it is about. But now, you are the chemical, you are the chemist, and you are the experimental process. Everything is you. Now you need a different kind of laboratory, otherwise it doesn't work. If it was objective, we could have just written a book and given it to you. But because it's subjective, you have to be taken step by step, because it's a completely different dimension of perception and experience altogether. But is it possible for me? It is possible for every human being. Internally, all of us are equally capable. We are not capable in different ways. All of us are capable of joy, isn't it? Yes? If you have been joyful for one moment, that means you're capable of joy, isn't it? It is just that you're unable to stay there. That's the whole thing. There is no human being on the planet who's never been joyful. Every human being has been joyful at some point. That means he's capable of joy. It is just that he's unable to stay there. So he needs a technology as to how to maintain the atmosphere within himself. It's possible.
To progress in one's path simply means that you have an expanded sense of ignorance.